Texas Motor Speedway, where everything is bigger and better in Texas. The sun has gone down, but the Reapers have come up, and they have jumped inside of these hot rods tonight to put on a great show for everyone in prime time this evening. As qualifying has been completed, Brandon Cooper got the pole. He's going to start P1 outside of newcomer to the series, Eddie Baker. We're going to get through the entire starting lineup as this field begins to grid as they're in their pre-race safety briefing. RC tonight is always going to be the great Tom Fridas, as he's given these drivers tonight everything they need to know to have a safe, well, hopefully safe, clean, and exciting race this evening. Again, I'm up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. You got it tuned into the right YouTube channel right here on Redline Racing Network. I'm Matt Metler, of course, going to be with you every step of the way tonight as we go 200 laps. Of course, no limit style because we're in Texas. You can't do it. No way else. Tonight, somebody's got to roll the dice. They got to go big. If they want to try to dethrone some of these big three top drivers, there could be a couple dark horses in here this evening, including the 84 of Baker, the one of Lilith Peters. She could come up and potentially pull a win here tonight as this field begins to roll off. Take a look here at the race info this evening. As we go ahead and get that put up on the screen for you guys tonight. Weather couldn't get any better. 72 degrees ambient air temperature. However, it is on the muggy side of things. 72% relevant humidity, partly cloudy. The winds are not at the elusive 2 miles an hour. What has happened? We are not in Kansas anymore, as it is 16, so perhaps we have switched to dynamic weather. The track length, of course, it's advertised as a cookie cutter, but it's actually 1.45 miles. Track temperature a little spicy, 101 degrees, but look for that to come down over the course of the run this evening. Take it now to the point. Brandon Cooper is going to share the front row with the Baker. Eddie Baker coming over from the Truck Series as the lights are out on that pace car. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's only one thing left to say. It's time to adjust the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Race fans, let's get ready to rumble here in Showtime. Green flag in the air, and these glorious V8s come roaring to life as we climb up through the gearbox for the first time. Neck and neck from the front rows here. Eddie Baker really sticking it to Brandon Cooper, trying to keep him honest. However, he has given him plenty of room here. Smart veteran decision. As, like I said, you cannot win this thing on the first lap. And just as I said that, Eddie Baker, he is going for it. He's going to sling that Camaro down to the bottom as he's eating hard on the inside. And already Eddie Baker said, I want the lead. I want the clean air. Check the box. Eddie Baker leads lap 1. In fact, we're pretty much single file right now through about the first top 5, top 10 cars. Jeffrey Radke in that number 3 machine, always a factor. I mentioned her top of the broadcast in the Stave Park DEI throwback car. There she is, LP. If you don't know what that stands for, you're going to find out, folks. That is the one and only Lilith Peters, one of the great talents across all the different iRacing leagues. Doesn't matter what type of car you put this girl in, she knows how to get it done, and she will figure it out. As she now runs in that 4th place position. Check out Bradley Bartley in the 48. He is already up 2 spots in the early going here as we're only working lap 3. And again, a lot of single file action right now. You got to get back to around the 10th place position there, as there's another new cat in the house tonight in the 47 coming, or the 72, I'm sorry. Well, he's showing the 47, but he's being scored as a 72, as he's the 47 in the Truck Series. And he is not afraid to mix it up either. Another guy to keep an eye on as he's in that 10th place position. Christopher Cash right there as well in 12th. He is in the hornet's nest right now. What do you say we go on board with the head cook, chief, and bottle washer? Ooh, Christopher going for a pass in the grass. The smooth Tennessee whiskey native from Kingsport, as he is going side by side right now. You see him having to really keep that car turned down. That's going to cost him a little bit in the tire department, but he's able to make the pass. And see just how gingerly he is working that wheel and throttle. You've seen a lot of correction there. That tells me that car is loose right now coming out of turn 4, and that is a tricky spot here at Texas. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us here tonight live on Redline Racing Network. You got turned into the right YouTube channel. Now join the right esports sim racing family. It's simple. Smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to all the high octane, high flying energy racing action, of course, right here on Redline Racing Network, as we are closing in on that elusive 1,000 subscribers. If you could help us make that goal, we would greatly appreciate it, as that is a milestone, for us here as a broadcasting network and just about anyone else that's, kind of in the YouTube realm. Cash doing a great job early here. You can see he's running the right line here. That car is really getting through the center off the corner well. Look for him to be good over the long run, as he typically is here at Texas. Going back to the front. I believe this is Eddie Baker's first race in the Xfinity Series. Man, this guy's picking up right where he left off with me in the Truck Series. Out front, carrying the torch and just doing things his way. At the point, you have a Chevrolet that's leading the field right now. He is out there just dominating early, as he stole the lead there for Brandon Cooper, made it look easy, and the 18 is no slouch. Then you got the Ford. Dark Horse being piloted is the man I just mentioned there, Cooper, the Brandon version. Then you have the Toyota. So from a manufacturer standpoint, hey, 1, 2, 3, you can't beat that. You got Jeffrey Radke, who always finds a way to hang around, and even if he gets behind a little bit, he is somehow always there at the end, as now he is challenging side by side. He's going to take it way up the hill. Try to get a run off the corner here, but the 18 is probably going to throw the slider, and yeah, that's exactly what he did. Let's see what Radke is going to do here, if he's going to try to get him coming out of the 3-4 complex, or if he's just going to stay in line. Oh, he gets big time loose. That's definitely a Code Brown moment. Lilith Peters probably had front row seats for that. Definitely not what Lilith Peters is wanting to see here, with only 11 laps on the board, is now she's getting into the mix here. She wants a piece of this action. Go on board with LP. As always, Kaiju Cat Motorsports. She's from my home state, just on the other side there in Tampa. And don't forget about Luna's Steak Sauce. One of a kind. You looking for something, you can basically put that on anything. That steak sauce is boss. If you haven't tried it, go check it out. Tell them Kaiju Cat Motorsports sent you. Use the promo code right here you're seeing on the screen. Tell them LP sent you. Get 10% off your first order. And remember, it's not Firefox, the web browser. It's foxfirefoods.com. Don't wait. Go check it out right now. Place an order. You'll be glad you did. You can see her lurking, just waiting, perhaps for the 3 to slip, make a mistake. Is now Radke's in a position where he's trying to play offense and defense. Not a good position to be in. So we widen things now back out. Great battle here is now Radke starting to reel in. Oh, Baker got a little loose off the top there. He may have went a little too hard too soon early. And, it's okay. You got 200 laps here. If you want to, push the boundaries early to kind of find out, almost 3 wide. Lilith Peters knows better of that. But like I was saying about tires, do it early when you have time. That's the silver lining. That's very critical information later in the race. Especially how things play out sometimes. Ooh, the 51 off the pace there. I believe that's going to be Charles Whitehead. What is going on with Sir Charles? This is definitely an unscheduled pit stop here as he's bringing it down pit road. Again, this is only on lap 15. Let's see if they do anything to that race car here. Jack's up in the air. Is he taking tires already? He is. So he's going to put 4 Dr. Feelgoods on it, drop the jack. Perhaps this is some strategy out of the Whitehead camp. Car doesn't look bad. So not sure what Charles is thinking. Maybe he went for a wild ride on the racetrack and we missed it, but this is definitely going to put him a lap or 2 down. Is back out front. What in the world has happened out front? We step away for a minute and everything is flip-flop. Brandon Cooper now leads in the 18. Lilith Peters goes to second. Radke in third. And Eddie Baker has shockingly slid back to that 4th place position. It never fails. If you remember, Brandon Cooper started on the pole. Baker was able to get by him coming out of the 1 and 2 complex, and he actually led the first lap. But now Peters, who is very good on the long run, that is one of her signature calling cards, especially in the next gen. I haven't seen her drive too much in the older, solid rear axle truck arm style race car, which this is, but no surprise, she's performance-wise, she is right there. Last time by, actually, fastest car on the racetrack. She ran at 31.58 compared to the leaders, 31.62. So she is doing exactly what she needs to and what I would say I expect her to do out there in that Pennzoil Chevrolet. Currently biggest mover of the race, Christopher Tate in the 30. And if you guys don't know, he is going to be making his debut in the ARCA Series. Not the sim racing ARCA Series, the actual ARCA Series at Iowa in the 10 car. That race will be broadcast on, I believe, FS1. So if you want to support the cause, a fellow sim racer, and cheer him on as he goes out there and does battle on the racetrack. Oh, he's also an active duty service member, I might add. Go out there, support the cause, pump this man up. I know he's put a lot of work in as you see him now going for a pass here on the 9 of Brandon Kelly. This is for that 10th place position. Oh, he's going to put the slider in the door to him. No harm, no foul there. That's just a Texas deal. Little Rubbins racing. He's just high-fiving him, trying to pump him up. Love watching how Tate, attacks these racetracks. Especially him having real-life track experiences, places like this. Just how he hunts around and, he doesn't give up. If his car's off, he tries to find a line, that'll work for him. He'll play with the braking zones, this, that, the other. He's always going to figure out a way to be fast. If he's not fast off the rip, he will be before it's over. Now through 21 laps of competition, we're going to go ahead and crank it up for the first time tonight. So sit back, turn those earphones up, crank the subwoofer up, and enjoy. And that, of course, your very first Crank It Up session on the evening. That being, of course, provided by our official strategic alliance partner, Black Magic. You sick of your ride? Don't want the same old design that's been recycled 500,000 times on Trade and Paint? Well, get out of the static. Go see the boys at Black Magic. They'll help you take your design and your dream come to life. And as always, it's good for 2/10 out there on the racetrack. Tell them the SSIL Reaper Xfinity Series sent you, and they will hook you up. That is the one and only Black Magic. Going back to the point. No, I'm not talking about Tom Petty. I'm talking about Brandon Cooper. Coop is on one right now. Fastest car on the racetrack, also leading right now. For once, all is right with the world, as we have been green flag ever since the initial drop of the green flag. Hunting hard right now, trying to find a couple tenths, literally a tenth or two. Lilith Peters, as she solidified herself in that second place position right now. Then you got to go back about 2.5 seconds there to Radke in the 3, first Toyota in line. Then another second and a quarter back, you have the 48 of Bradley Bartley in 4th. And here's where it starts to get good. Eddie Baker in 5th and Dalton McKinney in 6th. Eddie has the top 5 spot, the fifth and final one. McKinley wants it. Ooh. Eddie walking it out there. Little slideways coming out of 4. That's going to allow the 46 and McKinney close back in. See him now trying to put some pressure on Eddie Baker. Get him to mirror drive, perhaps. Get inside his head like the Intimidator used to back in the day. I believe there he goes. He did. There's McKinney on the inside, just as we went on board with Baker. Clarksville man has a plan right now, and he is trying to execute it. But Baker playing some great defense right now. He's using the air, the racetrack, everything he has, all the tools to keep that 46 behind him. Dalton race is in real life as well. I believe he is a pro stock modified driver. Ooh, almost makes contact, gets loose. He's doing the jig right there. Great job of keeping that car off the 84. That was absolutely masterful driving there by Dalton McKinney. You can see all these guys getting loose. Just trying to get everything they can. Look at all the wheel. Wow. McKinney. He's out there on some ice skates and having a blast. This man is wheeling it. He vibing. I mean, he had 20 degrees of left thrown in that, or right thrown in that thing. If not more. And I believe a lot of these cars still single file with some moderate spacing between them. This one of the closer battles on the racetrack here. Uh-oh, we got problems. And the broadcaster's curse strikes again. Christopher Tate, who I was just pumping, has had a problem. Let's go back to the instant replay here and find out what happened. Oh, he just gets loose coming out of the 3-4 complex. Doesn't hit anything. Is going to lock it down. At least I don't believe he comes back up. Doesn't bring it back into the racing surface, but stops on the racetrack. And that is going to throw the caution flag. You know, if you roll that back one more time, let's go on board with Tate. Slow this thing down. Look at all the wheel he is putting into this race car. Back end steps out again. He's feeding left, or right. And it just takes off on him down the hill. Great job keeping it out of the racing lane, though. No harm, no foul there. Plenty of time to recover. He'll regroup and he'll be back in it. As we go back to the live side of things here, 36 laps in, I can promise you it's going to be wholesale pit stops. And while they take their first caution of the race, we're going to step aside, pay some bills, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back momentarily right here on Redline Racing Network. Race fans, welcome back to the Texas Motor Speedway. As pit stops are complete, the field is re-racked, restacked after the first incident of the day, but no harm, no foul, a self-spin by the 30 of Christopher Tate. He's able to put 4 new Dr. Feelgoods back on that race car. No damage, and he is back out there in competition as we await that pace car to make that turn off of back down to pit road and send these glorious V8s singing back through the heavens once again. Green flag back in the air, and we're back to the live action in Texas. Great restart there by McKinney. The 46 breaks clean as well. Lilith Peters going at it right now with the Lego Mobile. Gonna clear. Oh, look at, well, that girl is on a mission right now. She is going hard right now. She's going to try and get the spot here from the 46 nose. You got to try and get everything you can on these restarts when these tires are at their freshest. 46 going to try and side draft perhaps a little bit there. Pinch her down, not allow her to get that, keep that momentum. But again, that Pennzoil Chevrolet, look how she makes that car hook and rip and get out of town on the bottom. She's going to take the pass and reclaim that second place position. Brilliant move by Peters. Now the 48 of Bradley Bartley going to try and recreate what Lilith Peters did here. He's saying, hey, if you could do it, I can want to move. He just faked him out of his race suit. That's going to cost him multiple spots here, too. And sometimes that can happen here at Texas, almost like Martinsville. I know they're very opposite racetracks, but, you know, Martinsville, you get bumped up out of the groove, and that's going to allow sometimes 2-3 cars to come by. And Lilith, you know, opening the door and getting past, you know, that allowed Jared Hayes in that 17 to get by as well. And now that's going to slot McKinney all the way back to that 8th place position. There's Austin Cooper going at it with Christopher Cash. This for that 9th and 10th place position, side-by-side action. Chevrolet on Ford going on right now. Keeping it clean, giving each other plenty of space. 2 veteran drivers, that's what you expect out there. Oh, 69 time work in the bottom. Saw some smoke up the road. Not sure if someone caught a piece of the wall there, but we stay green. And once again, these cars starting to single file out. Going back to the front, battle for the lead. Lilith Peters going to turn it hard on the bottom here. Going to try and steal it from Radke. To go on board to the GoPro. Looking back here at the 3, you can see just how close quarters this battle is. Listen to the throttle control. Oh, he's peeking. Oh, he's going to try and squeeze it in there. Like a Slim Jim into a hot dog bun. Flame shooting. God, I love this camera angle. They're still side by side. John Force special down the backstretch. The one on the high side is going to be able to carry the momentum. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies, and now she deploys the pincher. Radke not giving up. He's going to send that Supra back down there as well. Lilith Peters just a little too strong right now. Oh, caution, come on. That was some darn good racing right there. And that's going to be the stage, I believe. So I can't get mad at that. We knew that was coming. Oh, how about it? Lilith Peters, I believe it's going to be your stage 1 winner right here. Tell you what, I'd give anything to not throw the stage there just because that battle was so darn good. That pace car is going to pick up the field here. So as far as stage is concerned, getting points here, Lilith Peters is going to take stage one. She gets the dub there. Jeffrey Radke is going to slot into second. Rounding out the podium, Bradley Bartley in third. Coming home fourth in stage one, that's going to be Brandon Kelly. The Baker is going to get himself a top five. Jared Hayes comes home sixth. Christopher Cash seventh. Brandon Cooper, Dalton McKinney, and Austin Cooper all going to get points here as we officially end stage one. Everyone probably going to stay out here. Oh, Radke's going to come down pit road. Couple cars are. Radke in the 3, Eddie Baker. In the 17 of Jared Hayes, throwing it back to Daryl Waltrip in the Western Auto car. Love that paint scheme. Great looking wrap on that ride. Curious what these guys are going to do here. Looks like right side tires only. You know, that should help the car rotate a little bit. It might actually make it a little bit looser. Lilith Peters, Matt up in the booth. You got me.
Hello?
Lilith, Matt up in the booth. You got a copy.
Yeah, I do.
Well, Lilith, that was some great driving. What a battle you had there with the 3 machine. You're going to get the stage 1 win. Talk to me about that fight coming to the end for the stage there.
I didn't expect to be contested, so it kind of caught me by surprise, but I'm not good on the short run. I'm glad I was able to hold on to it.
I mean, I beg to differ on that, but I know the long run is certainly one of your strengths, and we've seen you throughout that first, 40-plus lap stint, how you were able, you were the fastest car on the track at one point. Talk to me about the track conditions. How's it feel out there? Is it slick as it looks up here in the booth?
It's randomly tight until it's randomly loose, so it's kind of hard to predict.
Gotcha, so it keeps you
But
guessing.
on the long run, yeah, it gets really slow and tight.
Great feedback, of course. Well, Lilith, we'll let you get back to it. You think you got what it takes to put that Pennzoil DEI machine in victory lane when all is said and done?
I don't know, Brandon's quick, but we'll see.
All right, well, best of luck the rest of the way. We appreciate you joining us here live in the booth. That's the driver of the one. That is Lilith Peters. Appreciate her coming up into the booth. So we're under caution here. This not for incident first stage. Only one kerfuffle out there on the racetrack, and that was a self-spin by the 30 of Christopher Tate. No one else caught up in it. No damage to his race car. That basically just kind of slowed the field down and restacked everything and packed everyone back on top of each other again. That's all that really did. While we got time, let's see if we can talk to anyone else here, perhaps. Yeah, my permissions just still ain't right. I know they were working on it, but I can only see the free agents chat, and that is all. And in fact, I had to drop down into that chat. I couldn't pull Lilith Peters up, so if anyone would like to chime in for an interview over the course of the race, feel free to jump in the top 3 under caution or whatnot, and I'll try to interview you guys and talk about the race and how it pertains to you at that particular point in time. It's now lap 50 on the board. Lights go out on the pace car. It's time to get real in the field once again. effect. What do you say we crank it back up on this restart? Field crawling at a snail's pace. Feels like an eternity from 188 to 190 miles an hour at times on the racetrack. There goes the pace car. And here comes a crank it up session. Lilith Peters fighting hard right now as she has a bumper full of Bradley Bartley in the 48. You heard her say she wasn't that good on the short run. I beg to differ. I think she's pretty darn good on the short run, but her real strength is the long ball game. And here comes the 48 to challenge. He's going to send it in there. Almost got down to the apron. That could have been disastrous. Oh, he gets pushed loose off the corner. Telling you that turn 4 does not get enough respect here at Texas. That corner can ruin lives, and I'm not kidding. Looking out the back of Lilith Peters, she's getting a bump draft, a little bit of a nudge into the corner. Bradley Bartley trying to go to the bag of tricks here, but that number 1 machine is not going to budge. You heard of the saying, the Iceman? Well, this is the Ice Queen. Liquid nitrogen may have a hard time to make her make a mistake, as now that's going to open up the door for the 3. So now the 48 trying to attack Peters is allowed the 3 of Radke to come into the mix, as we're going to stay looking out the back door here of the 1. So that's going to slot Jeffrey Radke now into that second place position. What does he have for LP? About identical speeds down the backstretch. Both Lilith and Radke topped out at 189 miles an hour. Lilith clearly running a defensive line here. And again, she has the skill set. She knows how to keep these guys behind her. But you got to get a little, be cautious when you start pinching cars down, especially with this hard race and these tires heat up. Oh, she wiggles there. She bobbles. And that is going to cost her 2 spots. 1 slip on the racetrack. And that's going to cost you 2 positions, as now Radke goes back to the point. Oh, caution. Oh, I'm having a conniption up here at the broadcast booth. Every time we get some incredible racing, that yellow flag comes out. What happened to my buddy Eddie Baker? As the replay crew is telling me he was involved here. Slow it down. What do you say we go to the eye in the sky? 84 is going to be on the top shelf. I think he's going to lose it here, getting into the corner. You can see that back end starting to wash out a little bit. He is on the verge of spinning. That car is right on the jagged edge. And there it goes. He was fighting it the whole way through the corner. And the car just said, I'm out to lunch. Don't get hit, don't get hit, don't get hit. Gets out of the racing groove. No harm, no foul. That car is perfectly fine. May need a change of shorts, some new shoes. Throw some new Goodyear on it, and hey, we're good as new. Great heads-up situational awareness by all the other drivers to jump on the binders and get a line to drive through that car that was every way but straight. But nonetheless, great save there by Eddie Baker. And I mean save as in keeping it out of the wall there and not inflicting concrete poisoning on himself or that race car. Oh, did you see that? How did he get... I know we're not supposed to do this, but watch this fake. I mean, he faked him out of everything. Boot, shoes, pocket watch, wallet. That was like the annexation of Puerto Rico on Little Giants. Lilith wasn't falling for it, though, but I got to give it to the three. That was pretty darn good. Through 59 laps of competition, under caution once again for another single car spin here on Redline Racing Network. We're going to pause, don't step away, because we're going to keep this all out coverage. You're not going to miss anything right here on Redline Racing Network. Xfinity Series official setup shop, Team Watson Racing Setups, as the caution flag looms once again as we come back from our extended Crank It Up session, sponsored once again by Red Light Racing's Network's official speed shop, Team Watson Racing Setups, of course. I think Eddie Baker, this night kind of not going how he wanted. I think he is going to have some problems here again. There he is, always going to go 3 wide. They're in the Blue Angels formation down the backstretch. Oh, and it's a 1-2 whack-a-mole. Christopher Cash crashed. No pun intended. So we're going to dissect this one a little bit further here. We're going to roll that back. So here we go once again. Go to the eye in the sky. 3 wide here. Eddie Baker has a run on Christopher Cash, who's got 3 cars to his outside, Eaton on the high side. And that literally is a textbook Blue Angels formation, minus the 48. The 17 comes down, takes the face off the 69. Eddie Baker's going to come up and administer a punch to their quarter panel, and all 3 of those guys are going to do the 3 Stooges. As they have a meeting of the minds, 84 pops the 89 again. And that's going to be our first incident on the racetrack with carnage to the race cars. Some of these guys going to have some extended stay in the pits. However, remember, they do have 1 mulligan, 1 joker up their sleeve in the fast repair department. Now working lap 72. Caution in the air once again. Some of these drivers probably pulling their hair out as they're trying to just chew some of these laps off the board to get down, to the end here when they really, some of these guys not going to show us what they have till, perhaps 20, 25 laps to go. It's kind of hard to, have a strategy and a game plan and stick to it. Especially if you're good on the long run, like the 4 of Lilith Peters, Austin Cooper, Robert Gillard. When you keep having all these cautions that just, tighten everything right back up again. Again, if any of you drivers out there on the field or your spotters are listening to the broadcast, I do not still have the proper permissions. I can only see the free agent chat. I cannot see the team chat, nor can I drag and drop. But if you guys want to jump into the top 3 where I currently am, be more than happy to interview you guys under one of these caution sequences or stage to get your perspective on the race. When the time is permitting, of course. I don't know how I feel about that Choose car. It just feels very N64-ish to me. But that's just my opinion. So, the bets have been made, the lanes have been chosen. Radke gonna have the button here on the restart. He's gonna have Cooper, the Brandon version, on the outside. Row 2 is going to be shared by Dalton McKinney and the one Elizabeth Peters. Brandon Kelly, Eddie Baker, James Bush, and Charles Whitehead, Bradley Bartley, and Hayes round out the top 10. So we get back ready to go to the green flag side of things. Going to go on board with Eddie Baker for this restart. Green flag back in the air, and you hear that V8 start to roar once again as he climbs back up through the H pattern. Oh, hold on to it, son. Brandon Kelly just went for a wild ride. He took the Evel Knievel line and then some. That was probably the don't stain your ride, use Tide moment of the race thus far. I mean, he used up all the grass, all the racing lanes, everything. The only thing he didn't make contact with was another car in the wall. Great job there by Cooper. Or Kelly, excuse me. He does have some ground to move up, as that's going to cost him a lot of time out there on the racetrack. It's going to drop him all the way back to 13th in the standings. Lost a lot of valuable and critical track position. So we worked lap 76 of 200. There's Tom Frida's. Race Control does such a great job. And I believe all of the SSIL series, as I know he's with us Thursday nights on the Cup side of things. Race Control's here on Mondays. And I believe he's doing the truck series as well. But cannot thank him enough for everything that he does to make this league and all of the series as good as they possibly can be. Great battle here up front. Dalton McKinney right now carries the torch. He has got the lead here, where everything is bigger and better in Texas, including the barbecue, by the way. That car has got a lot of hot charcoal behind it because it is FAST fast. Then you got, I mean, this is one heck of a battle here between Cooper and Radke. These two always seem to find themselves close to each other on the racetrack, and he goes up and has a speed date with the wall. I believe Radke will now concede and give that position to Cooper. No, he's not. He's going right back after it. Little wall contact is not going to slow him down or make him change his mind. He is putting the 18 in the pressure cooker. was doing everything he can right now to figure out how to get a couple more tenths to run down that 11. We go on board now, looking out his front bumper. And just as we go on board with him, caution out on the racetrack once again. This obviously going to slow things down. Perhaps some more pit stops. This could be the stage. And in fact, yes, it is the stage. Lilith Peters, of course, winning stage 1. Dalton McKinney going to claim stage 2 victory here. So maximum points for the 46. So he now catches up with that pace car. James Bush having a great run here, newcomer to the series, up 6 spots from where he started. He's going to slot in second. Radke even with the board third for him. That's where he started at the initial drop of the green flag. Brandon Cooper, he's going to snag fourth. Well, Jared Hayes up 7 spots, currently tied for biggest mover of the race with Charles Whitehead. Fifth, Lilith Peters, Brandon Kelly, Eddie Baker, Charles Whitehead, and Christopher Cash, all going to snag some points here. Multiple cars coming down pit road, including Radke, Cooper, Bush, Kelly, Lilith Peters as well. See that Western Auto Machine has a little bit of wall grindage on it. A lot of the leaders here getting service. Should be 4 tires and fuel here, given the amount of lapses. These cars were pretty much all down pit road last on lap 70. Great stop there for the 18. Lilith Peters is just going to edge Jared Hayes off of pit road. However, some cars stayed out. Disregard that 87. That is the choose car. So Bush stays out. Brandon Kelly in the 9, who had a wild ride earlier all by himself. Dalton McKinney, the first car in line that pitted, who has fresh tires. So they have a 22-lap differential between Bush and Kelly. And then you got Dalton McKinney in third, Radke in fourth, and everyone on back throughout the course of the field has taken tires. Does fresh air, clean air, overcome 22 laps on a set of Goodyears? Not so sure about that. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us here live on Redline Racing Network. You got it tuned into the right YouTube channel. Now join your eSIM action esports leader. Smash the like button, ring the bell. Come home to all the high-flying, high-octane, high-energy racing action right here on Redline Racing Network. Reports here that the pace car has crashed. That can't be right. Can it? Let's check it out. We got time. Nah, that's just the timing and scoring, picking him up, some slowing down on the racetrack as he was getting situated for his choose position. That's all that was. So James Bush, once again, Brandon Kelly, they're going to roll the dice here, go with the strategy play. Not burning the tires there, throwing some smoke at the start-finish line. I like that touch. As remember, on this restart, your front row is going to be on 22-lap older go-fasters than Dalton, McKinney, Lilith Peters, and virtually everyone else that's on the lead lap. The pace car is going to go off. We're going to jump on board here with James Bush. For this restart. Bush has chosen the high side. So he's going to restart on the top shelf. He's going to give Brandon Kelly the bottom. Second gear. Calm before the storm. Oh, they make contact. I don't know if they still... Yeah, that's a PDA, guys. Pace car pulls off. We wait on the Geico restart zone. James Bush smashes it through the floorboards, does not spin the tires. Great restart. Brandon Kelly trying to edge ahead as he had a good one as well. No tires, no problem. Kelly throws the Louisville slider, and here comes the rest of the field. Oh, it smashed a pass. The 11 was virtually giving an assist, trying to help him in the corner. That was absolutely ludicrous. How did they keep it straight? Dalton McKinney from Clarksville is clocked in back to the front. Son, if I'm broadcasting right now, buddy. I love you to death. I'm not trying to ignore you, bud. Okay? You want to say hi to everybody? Matty Jr. says hi, everybody. He just couldn't wait. He had to have me open up his Legos. There you go, bud. As I was saying before the interruption, sorry about that. Dalton Kelly, or McKinney, now going to take the lead. Whip it up. That's exactly what he's doing right now out there at the point. Red Level Midnight Motorsports. Now that's a team name. It reminds me of like almost the conditional status of the Porta-Johns at an outdoor concert. But no, all jokes aside, I like that name. Here comes Radke. I'm telling you, the longer this guy runs, the better he gets. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Lilith Peters in some ways. Or if he's not the fastest car out there on the racetrack to start the way, he will continue to refine his racecraft, and he will figure out what he needs to do to find the speed before it is all said and done. We have now clipped lap 100. We are once again single file here. Let's say the first side-by-side action we had was just there between Brandon Kelly and Austin Cooper. But Kelly able to make the pass. You see Christopher Cash there in 10th place. He is just behind this battle here. So they're about to re-engage. That Legos Dark Horse Mustang going to send it in on the bottom. The 9 going to lift and give the actually drop 2 spots there. Cash wants another one. He's peeking. However, Austin Cooper is able to have a little bit more momentum there. Couple cars out of this race, including the 30 of Christopher Tate, Johnny Williams, Bryson Caldwell. Not sure what happened to him. However, he has put it on the hauler. And while everything is calm on the racetrack, we're going to step away, pay some bills, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Redline Racing Network. Race fans, welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway right here on Redline Racing Network as the Xfinity Reaper Series once again excites here in primetime. I'm Matt Metler up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth as we are currently watching Lilith Peters and the 46 go at it once again of Dalton McKinney. These two have put on great battles throughout the course of this race, and Lilith Peters takes the spot. Does McKinney look to reclaim it here? He does not try to force it on the bottom. He's going to concede, give her the spot. I'm telling you, the longer this race goes, and she said it after she won stage one, that Pennzoil car just gets so good in the neighborhood. Now working lap 114 of the scheduled 200 laps is advertised here tonight. Peters about 1.2 seconds behind Radke, who is up the road right now on another zip code. Second fastest car on the racetrack. Guess who's the quickest? If you guessed the two of LP, you're right. Clocking in at a 31.99, one of the very few cars left in that 31-second bracket. As that lead continues to diminish, actually, I think Lilith slipped coming out of the corner there is, caution on the racetrack again. Eddie Baker must have forgot his Crisco tonight because he is just not having the night how he had hoped to go back to the Redline Racing Network instant replay here. Let's slow it down. Go to the eye in the sky, close quarters racing. The backhand's going to step out. He's going to make contact with the 18. The 18's going to turn down, put the front nose into him. Oh, he goes full-blown helicopter mode. The front of the car explodes. Does a full-blown Tony Hawk-style roof stand. Ouch. That car is absolutely smoked. Oh, Eddie, I feel for you, brother. Yeah, we're going to have to roll that one back again. Take a second look at this horrific crash involved with the Eddie Baker in the 84. Going to go on board with him here. Calm before the storm. Literally. You're going to see the contact. You see, he comes up the racetrack here. He gets hooked in the back and, stuffs it right in the fence. He goes airborne on his lid. Barrel rolls. Does a 540 fakie. That's a solid 10 out of 10. Horrific crash for the 84. I'm not sure if he even drive that car back to the pits or not. He may still have the fast repair. I don't think he utilized it. And this caution, of course, comes out just as Lilith Peters was starting to run down the leader of Radke. However, the front two stay out. Last pitted on lap 92. Then on lap 116, just 2 laps ago, Radke, Peters, Hayes, and the rest of everyone else on the lead lap comes down on lap 16. The last time they tried this, it didn't work out so well for the front two. Maybe McKinney and Bartley, they saved a little bit, didn't push it as hard. Saved a little tire, perhaps. Take a look here at this track temperature, it continues to come down. Or excuse me, it has went up. It's now 105. Pull a little Fiocchi doke on us. Started to go out down, and that sun came back out, and it has set this asphalt ablaze once again. So that is certainly going to loosen things up out there, especially coming off a treacherous turn 4. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us here right on Redline Racing Network, the only place you're going to catch the Xfinity Reaper Series action every Monday night. Happy to announce we just surpassed 900 subscribers, so want to thank everyone that supported the cause tonight as we are on our quest for 1,000. Certainly appreciate that. Also want to take this moment to thank all of our partners and all the drivers that make this possible. Cash Customs, obviously. Christopher Hubka, the head chief cook and bottle washer of the SSIL. Black Magic, of course, the official the wrap custom design partner. Team Watson, your official setup shop. And everyone else that bands together behind the scenes to make these broadcasts and these league races possible. Lights out on the pace car. We're racked, we're stacked, 2 by 2. Gonna ride along with Lilith Peters on this restart. And green flag back in the air, and the V8s come roaring back to life once again here at Texas. Check out this close quarters, side by side, 2 by 2. Noah's Ark situation for the lead. Oh, that was almost a big moment there. If the 18 saw a 6-inch hole and thought it was going to part like the Red Seas, he almost tried to time it and stuff it in there. But just as I say that, Bradkey and Peters start to pull away as they're on fresh shoes. The guys that stayed out, McKinley and Bartley, well, they've already been swallowed up. They're back to 5th and 6th already. Really to make that work, especially with that type of a lap deficit, you got to hope you can get that track position, then catch another caution right away. Or perhaps at the end of the race, because it does take a lap or two for these tires to come up the temperature. But you can see, we've seen it 2 different times right now. After, 2 laps, 3 laps, those cars with the fresher Dr. Feelgoods it's really not even a challenge. Is McKinney now all the way back to 9th? Your leader, once again, the Toyota TRD, let's go places, and he's going to the point once again. Hot on his heels, though, in the DEI throwback. From Kaiju Cat Motorsports, Lilith Peters, who is praying to the gods of racing for a long run. That's what she wants to see. She wants to see this thing get stretched out. Brandon Cooper solidly in that 3rd and final podium position. single file at the point. About 3 car lengths separate Radke and Peters, and about the same back to Brandon Cooper. He's now, just as I say that, he's really started to dial it up, turn up the wick, as he's going to challenge Peters here on the outside. So we go on board with Jared Hayes, as he battles here with Lilith Peters. Look how close these drivers are doing battle at almost 190 miles an hour. Lilith's going to give the spot to Cooper. So that's going to shuffle him to P2. Cycle Lilith back to P3, one position where she started from that 4th place position when we took the initial green flag. So we go to the eye in the sky here, just so you guys at home can just get a representation and see visually how far these cars are apart from each other. Plenty of space out there right now, especially inside the top 5. If there was a problem, plenty of time to react, as we still have, roughly 70 laps remaining in competition. So we're working lap 128, writing them in the history books. There's Hayes in the Darrell Waltrip Western Auto throwback paint scheme. Then you have to go another 2.4 seconds back. Austin Cooper in 5th. Gillard, where did he come from? He was back there 13th, 14th most of the race, and then suddenly he's the biggest mover of the race in 11th, my old broadcast partner. Who would have thought? Things haven't been going his way as of late. Had an awesome breakthrough win in the Cup Series back at Dover for Whitehead Racing. And then things started not to go his way for a little bit. And I'm not talking about his driving. I just mean things that happen on the racetrack, quote-unquote racing deals. Brandon Kelly taking a peek. He's thinking about it. Knocking on the back door. It's not delivery. It's Brandon Kelly in the 9. So these guys have their own battle for that 5th place position. Then we got to go way, way back. About a quarter straightaway. Almost a half. To Bradley Bartley in 9th. Dalton McKinney in 10th. 13 seconds off the pace. Christopher Cash, again, about the same distance from McKinney as Bradley was to Kelly. So, as Tony Trapasso would say, this field is more strung out than a methadone clinic. I can't take the credit for that one. Cash Customs on board. Ooh, Cash, don't crash. Keep it on the racetrack, buddy. There you go. Go back to the point. What do you say we crank it up here once again on Redline Racing Network? Let's do this thing. as it continues to be the fighter Radke at the front of the field. Brandon Cooper, he's a little bit faster each lap. Last time by, Radke ran a 32:11 to Cooper's 32:08. So slowly but surely, he is catching the 3. Go on board now with Radke, the leader, looking out the back door of his Toyota Supra as you watch Brandon Cooper stalk his potential prey as that dark horse creeps in closer and closer. Now he looks inside. Oh, Radke's going to get a piece of the wall. Going to go way, way up the hill into the nosebleeds. This is what I'm talking about. These battles at the front at time of this race have just been absolutely fantastic. So we're getting ready to click lap 150 as 149 has been written into the history books. There we go. 50 laps to go in this one. You know, if you're Radke, what do you do right now trying to get inside the head of Cooper? Try to get a mirror driving if you can. Get him to make a mistake. Pull the old Intimidator. Heck, you got the 3 on the car. But just as Radke closes in within striking distance, he starts to get that aero tight condition and just cannot seem to get that Toyota in position to make a move on Cooper, who's also playing some great defense, I might add. Very good defense. Another car that's been quick on the long runs tonight, Lilith Peters. She is blocked into 3rd. However, Radke and Cooper are just a little bit quicker than the 1. Last time by, she was a 32:34 to Radke's 32:25. Again, she is about 3.5 seconds off the lead, out there on a Sunday drive all by herself. You got to go back another 3.5 seconds to find the 17 of Hayes. You know, while we have a time here, ladies and gentlemen, during kind of a lull here in the racing action, I want to talk to you about a special event up and coming, the inaugural. Make sure you're a part of it. The Rattler 300 being put on by a couple members in the SSIL, specifically Ryan Sizemore from Ryan Sizemore Racing, TJ Hanley, THD Designs. $50 to the winner. Going to have a lot of prizes, free paint schemes, custom setups, and more. Only $1 to enter. Not 10, not 15. It's $1 to get in on the action, guys. Plenty of slots available. There's going to be some really big names in here. Going to be broadcasted, of course, right here on Redline Racing Network. If you're interested in joining that event, I don't have a graphic for it yet, but next week I will. Get in touch with THD Designs, that's TJ Hanley, or Ronnie Sizemore, RSR Racing. They can point you in the right direction to get you in the field. That's a race you do not want to miss. It's going to be right here at Texas in the same race car, in the Xfinity Series car. Not sure if it's going to be an open setup or a fixed or a hybrid. But you're going to want to be a part of this inaugural event, 300 miles. The Rattler 300. Right here in the following weeks to come. Let's see if Brandon Cooper is just out on a Sunday drive. Go on board with him for a minute. Let's see how he's getting around this racetrack. Look at that throttle control. Gingerly just applying a little bit of pressure. I don't even think he's wide open till about right there, perhaps. Just a couple seconds there on the front stretch. And again, being ever so respectful of the horsepower. Now he goes wide open right there. And now we're back off the throttle again. Just showing you guys how to be fast and save your tires and equipment at the same time. Peters has now cleared Hayes. And she is saving fuel. Was Peters, is she trying to go the distance here? Lap 116 last pitted. No way. She is clutching it. It is now suddenly the fastest car on the racetrack, so she clearly was holding back at a 32.55. And Radke pitted. As that moves Radke into that 7th place position, Lilith Peters gonna try and pull one of the wild cards, something that she's known for in the next gen cars, and go the distance here. This is gonna be incredible if she can pull this off. Let's see if she continues to save fuel here. Yep, clutch in, shutting the car right off. Turn the ignition switch back on, dump the clutch. Let's see if Brandon Cooper is saving as well. You're now on board with the leader. Looks to me like Cooper's driving how you would, with about almost 50 laps on the tires. So perhaps he is planning to have to come down pit road here and stop again. It appears Peters is going to try and go the distance here. Back with Peters. Shuts the car off. Coasting all the way into the corner. Turns it back on, brings it back to life, up off the corner. Not shutting it off here in the 3 and 4 complex. This is where she usually kills it, right here. So she's basically idling for about 1/8 of a lap here. Comes down the backstretch again. Lifts way early. Barely on the loud pedal to 3 and 4. Taking the shortest distance around this racetrack on the bottom. At the start-finish line, we're cutting power. Boom, right there. I cannot wait to see how this shakes out. She's also cutting into Cooper's lead as well. Is that gap down now to 2 seconds? Is Lilith is somehow faster now than the 18. Last time by, Cooper just ran. Well, Cooper really slowed it down. He just ran at 32.62. Wonder if Cooper's saving now. Wonder if he realizes what the strategy is in the one camp. Well, only one way to find out. Back on board. Again, I'm not seeing, a massive RPM drop. I'm not seeing the car jump back down to idle. I'm not seeing him shut the car off. He's just being very conservative right now with his lap times, not trying to make a mistake. As Peters continues to close the gap. She is now chewed 1.5 seconds off of the advantage of Brandon Cooper. In fact, you're going to look out back of the 18 and watch how quickly the one of Peters is coming. And remember, she's shutting her car off at the start-finish line, guys. We've seen it 4 or 5 laps consistently. You can see the time delta. Now Brandon Cooper has picked it up once again a little bit, just as I went on board with him to watch and track the progress of Peters. Now Cooper's a little bit quicker. Last time by, he ran a 30.47. To Peters, 30.56. So perhaps he's just managing the gap, taking out an insurance policy, and only running as hard as he has to until Lilith gets close enough. And then he picks it back up again, perhaps. Oh, he gets a piece of the wall. That gap is now under 1 second. Under 30 laps to go. 2.9 remain. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for our final break tonight. And we'll be with you for the conclusion of tonight's race in the Xfinity Reaper Series right here at Texas Motor Speedway. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway, where Brandon Cooper has taken the victory here in Texas. A late charge by Lilith Peters just wasn't enough, but Brandon Cooper able to start from the pole here and win. No limits, no holding back, no holds bar. Someone had to go full-blown Las Vegas mode, and that was the 18 who burned the midnight oil and found the way to keep the great LP and company behind and claims the W here in Texas. Gonna wait for the top three here to join me, please. In the top three Discord. And we're gonna start off with our third place finisher, Jared Hayes. You got me, bud.
I got you.
Well, hey, man, what a run for you tonight, man. Kind of a new guy in the series. Way to make a statement, put your name on the map. How were you able to pilot that thing home to a podium position?
That was a good race there. I did have one little incident with Brandon earlier. I didn't realize he was on old tires, and I kind of tapped him in the rear, but looks like he recovered good. And came down to the last pit stops there, just trying to, I could tell the race was going to be shortened, so I knew I had to try to save fuel, and I just stayed out on the tires I had and made do. And, hey, came home third, can't complain. And I had Lilith Peters out in front of me, so, and you can see her, you're doing all right.
Hey, that's well said. I mean, she is a great talent, but I mean, you put on a heck of a show and you displayed, your skill set as well. What's the secret to saving fuel with these cars while being fast out there on the racetrack at the same time?
Well, I was having to learn that as we went here. I thought I had a good idea of how to do that coming into the race, but I could tell I was burning my stuff up too quick, so I just had to keep backing my corners up into one, and then actually driving it harder into three, and trying to get the car to use more of the right rear in 3 and 4 instead of burning up the right front. And then by doing that, I was actually able to save more fuel in 1 and 2 and just was able to stretch it.
Well, there, folks, there's some excellent, detailed, and calculated feedback from Jared Hayes. I mean, the breakdown doesn't get much better than that. If this race would have went the distance, do you think you may have had something for the one or Brandon Cooper, or do you think you got the best place possible for your car and where it was running tonight at the end?
That's probably about as much as I was going to get. I was going to have to pit regardless if it would have went full length. And the Lilith and Brandon were faster than me all night, so I'm probably pretty happy with where I was at. I know Jeffrey was coming hard too. I think he pitted and rolled the dice and went for tires, and I know he blew past me when I was in fuel save mode, so he probably would have even got around me too. So, but I'm happy with where I finished.
You are right. Radke did come down on lap 155, just ran out of time. Well, I'll tell you what, man, heck of a drive for you. What a showing out there live in prime time. Who do you want to think who helps you get it done before we cut you loose?
I got to thank Lilith. She's a good friend of mine going back from NASCAR Heat 5 days. And my buddy Wes that races in this league, he didn't make it tonight. He had a work issue come up, so he didn't get to do it. But I practice with him and Lilith on occasion, and try to get some pointers from Lilith when I can.
Well, hey, you surround yourself with good people and great drivers like LP. Good things are going to happen. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, newcomer to the series, makes his name known here in Texas as he drives home to a podium third place position. Congratulations, my man. Hopefully we catch you up here next week.
You bet. And thanks, Chris Cash, for putting on this league.
Yeah, he does a great job with that league. So let's go ahead and go to our second place finisher. She was also your stage 1 winner, Lilith. Matt in the booth. You got me. And we'll try her one more time. Lilith, Matt up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy? Okay, I cannot hear Lilith. I do not see her talking. So we're going to switch it up here. We're going to go to our leader, Brandon Cooper. Matt up in the booth.
Got you.
Well, hey, man, talk to me about this race. It was wild. You had some great heated battles out there. How were you able to survive, keep all of the competition behind you, and put that car in victory lane?
Well, let me tell you, it was quite difficult. I'm in a dead sweat right now. I mean, I was really working it. Had gambled in stage one. Had a caution with about 10 laps to go in stage one. Stayed out. I think we shuffled back to eighth, but we took tires for the beginning of stage two. I know I got into a couple people. I know I got into Jared. Sorry about that. I felt like I could have given him a little bit more room, but came back in stage three, took a fast repair. I think some damage was affecting my car and my time, so just gambled that fast repair, hoping there wouldn't be any more cautions. And got to say, if there was literally one more lap, I would have finished last.
So you were that close on the field. You were squeezing every ounce out of the juice box you could to get home.
Yeah, when I finished the race on 0 gallons, so.
Hey, that's all that matters. You come across the start-finish line first. You didn't blow it up coming to the straight. You got everything right, calculated it perfectly. And sometimes it just takes some luck to go your way to put it here in victory lane. You know, Brandon, they always say momentum breeds momentum. What does this do for your team moving forward throughout the course of the season now that you got this win?
Well, definitely puts our team up there in the points, especially having a win. It definitely helps our points, and me too. I know I missed a race at the beginning of the season, so I'm just working my way back up right now. So hopefully we can keep this rolling. I know we got Richmond next week. We're looking really forward to that, and hopefully we can get the Cooper Motorsports Smoky Mountain team 1, 2, 3 next week.
Well, here you go. Sounds like you got yourself a good short track package under the body of that race car as well. You mentioned Smoky Mountain. That's going to be yourself, Christopher Cash. Great group of individuals. Always runs good at Richmond as well. Hey, before we cut you loose, go have a couple beers, celebrate with your team. Who do you want to thank? Who helps you get it done?
I'd like to thank my grandmother first. She's the best woman in the world, the greatest woman I know. I also like to thank my brother and James Bush in the field. They love they love to practice. They love to play. They love to get better. So without this, I definitely probably wouldn't be where I am. And I'd like to thank Terracom because they gave me a great place to work, and I love supporting them on my car. So.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Understands it's not an I effort. It's a collaboration of family members, people that are important to you, that inspire you, and everyone that helps put this together for Brandon Cooper. Congratulations on the win, my man, and good luck next week in Richmond.
See you next week, Matt.
We're going to try one more time to see if Lilith Peters is available, our second place finisher. Lilith, Matt in the booth, you got me.
Yeah, I think I got it working now.
Hey, sorry about that. We had to skip you there. Didn't know if you had a comm issue, but my God, you won stage one, and you were oh so close, but we ran out of time. We went on board with you. We seen you shutting the car off, just past the stripe. I couldn't believe how much speed you had, even while turning your car off on the racetrack. I mean, how were you able to do that and still run competitive lap times? In fact, you were running down the leader.
I had saved tire before that, and I was using the right foot to brake, so it was still quick.
I see what you're saying.
I saved too much because I have an extra 3 laps there, and all I needed was maybe another lap or two, and I would have passed them. But oh well, though.
Yeah, I was unaware that the race was going to be shortened by time as well. But I mean, you were actually 3 laps to the good. What another phenomenal performance for you, Kaiju Cat Motorsports, and in the one machine. You come up just a little bit short. Next week you go on to Richmond. How's the short track package for you guys? What are your expectations next week?
I'm not 100% sure I'll be racing that, but I do love Richmond, so I might. It's very fun. I love that track.
I know that's one of your tracks that you have circled sometimes on your calendar. I know you're good there. Jared Hayes, gave you showed you a lot of shade there, said you're a big part of, how good he is out there on the racetrack, says you help him a lot, and he thanked you. And, you've done the same for me at times, so I can attest to that. Who do you want to thank on the one who helps you get it done?
I'll just thank the usual, my normal teammates. This time I was teammates with Jared, so that ended up being a good 2 and 3. And thanks for broadcasting this, Matt. I'm sure you had a lot of fun watching that.
I did have a lot of fun watching it. It just seemed like every time, you got in position there where your car really started to come in, you got snake bit by the caution at times, and then you kind of ran out of time at the end, as my son's over here cheering you on as well. Want to thank you for all your hard effort and work out there, and good luck next week in Richmond.
Good night.
Have a great night, Lilith. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that means there's only one thing left to do this evening, and that is go through the final results here tonight. Again, want to thank everyone for joining us here live on Redline Racing Network, and to all of you guys that have supported the cause and subscribed, as we are now over 900 subscribers, as we are trying to get that elusive 1,000 mark. And again, cannot do it with all the help and support of you drivers and fans at home that tune into these live broadcasts. Let's go ahead and pull up the final results for you guys at home. And again, what a great race here this evening. Let's give SDK a little bit of a kick in the pants. See if we can get these results to show. They were there previously, and sometimes when the session gets cut short on time, they want to be a little difficult to work with. Let's try this again. There we go. Want to thank the graphics team to get that working. Again, Brandon Cooper comes home with the win here this evening. He takes the victory. A hard-charging, hard-fighting Lilith Peters, who saved additional 3 laps of fuel, I might add, comes home, runner-up second place, and her teammate, Jared Hayes, comes home third. So that's a second and third place finish for Kaiju Cat Motorsports. Great showing here tonight. Austin Cooper comes home fourth, while Jeffrey Radke rounds out the top 5 in the 3 ride. Brandon Kelly comes home 6th. Robert Gillard 7th. Brandon Bartley in the 48 comes home 8th. Dalton McKinney slots in 9th. And rounding out your top 10, Christopher Cash in the 69 ride. James Bush, he's going to come home 11th in the 11. The 84, Eddie Baker, 12th, who just was snake bitten by single self spins tonight. Just did not go his way before his helicopter death march out of the racetrack with that violent crash back around lap 110. Charles Whitehead, 13th. Christopher Tate, remember, he's going to be racing real life in the ARCA series at Iowa on FS1. Make sure you guys support the cause. I'm going to have an iRacing watch party for him. If you guys want to join, we got to cheer this man on as he makes his debut in the ARCA series. 15th, Johnny Williams. Bryson Coolwell comes home 16th, and Tom Freitas wasn't actually out there on the racetrack racing. He was your choose car tonight. And that's going to round out the 17 drivers that took the green flag here this evening. Again, like all things, must come to an end, including this broadcast. And as the late, great Tony Trepasso used to say, ladies and gentlemen, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic. We'll see you next time right here on Redline Racing Network.